Okay, we're going to try this again.
This does get old, but
I think YouTube is trying to tell us they don't want us to do more than half an hour, 45 minutes of
well, there's nothing
live
going on with
streams.
our connection. There's nothing else in the house right now that's taking up any bandwidth. That's for sure. Still cannot get fiber. It just apparently
Hi, Alyssa. Welcome back.
some of the other property owners around here are not signing off on the permissions to go across their land, which they don't put anything in.
There's a lot of landowners around here who are senior
Dyed in the wool Texans too. Don't
and they
want anything
don't
on their
really
land.
care. Thank you, Mary Cleveland. Appreciate it. Welcome back, McCoys. Welcome back, Heaven's Essentials.
I want fiber so bad.
Celtic Bear is here. Hi,
Oh,
Celtic
hi,
Bear.
Celtic Bear.
Good to see you.
I want
Thanks,
fiber
Ricky.
so bad I can taste it.
Oh, me too. I'd love to have fiber. That would be awesome.
And welcome back, Freaky Geek. You too. And this getting knocked off all the time is just really irritating. Really is.
Seems we make it 50 minutes to an hour, and then they start buffering us. We sign off, sign back in, and go for another 45 to 50 minutes to an hour. So that's why I do it twice on Sundays so that we can talk to everybody. Third time's a charm. I hope so,
Let's hope
McCoys.
so. Let's hope so.
Welcome back, Jesse.
I got some new toys yesterday, by the
Hi,
way, for
Wendy.
the birds.
Not for him, for the birds.
Yeah, for the birds. I ordered 3 new bird perches and a bird toy that is going to be really awesome.
Yes.
In fact, can you spare me for a few minutes?
Sure.
I want to show them that toy.
Okay,
At
yeah.
least, and
No problem.
I'll be
Sounds
back.
like YouTube is becoming Twitch or Zoom with the time limit.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, I agree, McCoys. It's I'm talking McCoy, freaky. Sorry. It's really frustrating because we sign on, we have a wonderful time. All of our viewers are enjoying it, and all of a sudden, everybody starts getting the little spinning thing, buffering at one time. So I'm sorry. Well, actually, McCoy's, he has a new computer that he got just a couple of weeks ago. So that's his Christmas gift. I'm going to get my Christmas gift probably tomorrow. My phone. The one I've got.
Phone.
The phone I've got is awful. It's about 3.5 years old, and it was a Motorola, and it's got real problems. So we're going to get me a new one. Let's see. The Real Krupp Adventures. Hello, I'm glad to see you. I think this is your first time, Real K-Pup. Welcome. I'm glad you came in. Jesse, I agree. I think it's all of them. Let's see. Mary Cleveland, I call it the Circle of Death. That's a good name for it. Mary, I agree. Let's see. Toys for David and Birdies. Well, my toys are coming tomorrow. And actually, I really can't complain because I also, just before Thanksgiving, got a new Instant Pot. Which reminds me, guys, I'm thinking about starting a series of videos on cooking with the Instant Pot. If you guys are interested, please let me know. I can do everything from main dishes to desserts and back and forth. Celtic, you have one, a Slyo? I don't know that brand, but if it's an Instant Pot or an electric pressure cooker, please tell me about it because I've already bought 3 new cookbooks so I can learn to use this thing, and I really enjoy it. Oak Hills Farm, I use Twitch to stream my creative stuff, which I edited and uploaded to Tube since they don't stay up on Twitch after about 2 weeks. I'm going to have to check out Twitch. I don't know what that is. Is it Twitch to go? Is that what you said? Okay. Celtic Bear, I'm I'm not sure what I'm get. I may get one like Dave has. He's got a, oh goodness, I don't even remember what it's, a 10S something. But I usually like to try and get the same kind he has. And that way, if I have problems, he can help me out. Let's see. Hardneck Wendy says we're in the country. Internet is horrible. We have a data limit. And yeah, we're in the country too, Wendy, and there are problems. We're supposed to be getting the fiber connections, but we've been here 5 years and they haven't done it yet. So who knows? Lisa Johnson, hi. You love Instant Pot cooking? Good. Share some recipes with me. Wendy likes her Instapot. You know, I have the old-fashioned stovetop pressure cooker, and I absolutely love it. But the Instant Pot is so much easier to use. You just push a button or two, and it's done. Jesse, it sounds great. My cooking videos are right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Jesse. I appreciate that. McCoy, if you spell it out or put spaces between the dot and the com or something like that, you can usually put the link information. That doesn't necessarily link, but people can copy it and do it from there. Mary Cleveland, I don't own an Instant Pot yet. You know, Mary, for a long time, I wouldn't let Dave buy one because they were too expensive. They were over $100, and I just felt like that was too much, especially since I had a stovetop. But this past year, they put them on sale at our local grocery store for less than $50. So I called David and said, are you still wanting to do that? And he said, yes. So I bought it. And I said, thank you very much. Let's see. Christina Elliott, hello. I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad you came over from Case. Welcome. Lisa Johnson has 3 regular stovetop pressure cookers, but have been using Instant Pot lately. I don't have to monitor it. Yeah, that's why I like mine too, Lisa. Christina, we don't do anything really about gardening here simply because I don't get out and garden. I mean, I like to, but I haven't been doing much of it. But we do a lot of cooking on this show. So welcome very much. Let's see. Any of you who enjoy Instant Pot cooking, if you have favorite recipes, I'm going to put my email up where you guys can send them to me. There. If you want to send me recipes, if you want them done on video or something like that, I would be happy to try that. I will tell you, though, I cannot do things that have vegetable peppers in them because I'm allergic, and I'm so allergic that even breathing in the air that has the oil from the peppers in it causes me very severe problems. So I do anything else. Did the link show up? Let's see. Let me flip back up here and see. I don't see it, dear. I'm sorry. Hi, Lynx Akers. It's good to see you. You like cooking adzuki beans? I don't know what those are. Wendy? Oh, thank you, Lynx. I appreciate that. Hi, Tim. It's good to see you.
Is that Tim Turner?
No, this is Tim Huffman from Florida.
Oh, okay.
Down in the south of Florida.
I was hoping Tim Turner would show up today.
Yeah, I would like for him to show too.
Well,
In addition to gardening, like
chair.
learning about cooking and baking. Well, I'm glad to hear it. North Star Prepstetter has an Instapot. Yes, she was telling me about it. Not last time I saw her. I really, really want to do some things, and I think since I'll be using it to feed us, why not just, make videos out of what I'm fixing for dinner anyway. Then I just give Dave a lot more stuff to do because he's the one that does all the editing for us. So he's the technical one. I'm not technical at all.
Okay. Anyway, recently I spend a lot of time looking for toys and perches and things of that sort for the bird cages. This one here, you might not be able to tell, but this has both a smooth surface and a rough surface like sandpaper. And one of our birds, Bravo, his toenails just get really, really sharp, even in between the trimmings that we have done by the vet. So I'm hoping to turn this one into a sleep perch, and that way his toenails will get.
It did it again. There we go.
You're not going to be able to do two things at once here, obviously. But anyway, this is and it's real lightweight, by the way. But it's got this sandpaper surface on it. And the other one that I got,
Thanks, Jesse.
this one has some bark on it still, not a lot, but some. And this will give them something to kind of mess with and chew on as they sit on that one. And of course, with birds the size of ours, these are about the right size. But the one that I'm really enthused about, and there's 3 of these in the set, but I only brought one in. And this is going to be a new toy that I hang in their cages. And it's just the little pieces of wood and cardboard in between. And this one, I think, is going to be a very effective toy for the birds, because they will tear this thing up. And I'm probably already, I figure I'm going to have to buy these. And it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, for the 3 that come on the set was only, I think it was $26, which amazingly is a pretty good price for a toy that's, got that many components in it. I make a lot of toys too, so not as pretty as these, but this one I think is really going to go over well. So anyway, that's my newest acquisitions for the birds. I'll put them up today probably. Hello, John. How are you? Good to see you here. Yeah, fun toys for the birdies. That's you got to give them new toys. You just have to. Well, Celtic Bear, yes, I can make them cheaper. In fact, I did a video not too long ago. I bought a $70 toy at the bird fair that we went to here not too long ago, and I ended up making 10 toys out of all the materials that I bought. So that's pretty good return on my investment. So
hello, Javelin's Life. It's good to see you.
The prices for toys and stuff, if you buy them online or especially at a pet store, that's just outrageous. So yeah, I do make a lot of my own. I've got all kinds of chains, and I've got boxes, cigar boxes, big ones, of all the little components that I need, the chains and the washers and connectors and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, this one here is a real bargain. To get 3 of these for $26, that's cheaper than I could make it, especially these little wood fragments here. This is just about the perfect size for the macaws. They can tear it up pretty easy, but they do have to work at it. And then the cardboard, they'll just shred that. And so I think these are going to be a real big hit. So since I got 3 of them on there, obviously one will go in each cage, and they'll all have something to tear up. But yeah, I've made my own toys for years.
Mary, go let them out.
Yeah, let them out, Mary.
Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you. Happy New Year to you, too.
Hi, Lisa. I'm careful about what I buy, Celtic Bear. I do look at the and yeah, you can't avoid them being made in China. But there are a couple of companies that I do business with that are made here in the USA. So I tend to lean toward their stuff. But this one that I just showed you is Chinese, but I'm also real careful when I put them in, because number one, this wood is supposed to be untreated, and they use food grade dyes to dye the wood and things of that sort. I always look for those kinds of details.
Links to the toys you get through Modern Rascals.
I haven't tried
Are
that.
they recycled or reused? Are they new? Tell me about that.
Is that modernrascals.com? I've never heard of that one. Would you mind jotting that down for me?
She may be talking about children, not birds.
Oh, okay.
That's why I didn't write it down right away.
Oh, well.
Let's see. Oak Hills Farm depends on the mushrooms. Essentially, not really. I have 3 videos on how on my. I'm going to have to check that out, McCoy. I really am.
Lisa Clark said that she's been busy purging so much stuff that she thinks she's next. John, as far as inoculating wood, I don't really go that route.
I think
what I try to find is just untreated wood.
I think he's talking about growing mushrooms because we have a side conversation about growing
I
mushrooms.
missed that,
going
didn't
on
I?
here.
Okay.
Toys from China are a real concern for her. This is Christina Elliott. My friend's African gray is sensitive to dyes and plastic objects. Tell me about your bird toy making. Are they available for sale?
Well, Christina, at one time when I first moved out here, I laid in quite a bit of equipment. I was going to make toys, and then I ended up
Thank
getting
you,
a new
Lance.
hip, and my back fell apart and things of that sort, and I just kind of got away from it. But I did at one time have thoughts about making toys, but as far as resale, no, not really. What I make, I just use for my guys.
Yeah, our birds tear them up so quick. We'd have to have some kind of a machine do it if we were going to sell, because 3 birds tear up a lot of toys quickly.
Yep, and you got to keep changing them out now and then just to keep them from getting too bored. Any supplements or food from China, I can understand that, Hardneck. Yep. I've often thought about growing mushrooms. All you need is a good dark room, I guess.
This last year, we had a lot of what I called toadstools pop up on those big piles of wood chips that we had breaking down. I don't know what kind they were. I certainly did not try and eat them. I don't know enough about them, but I would love to be able to grow them because they're expensive in the stores. And I love mushrooms. I really do.
Now I understand the inoculating logs for the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Wendy, I have heard you also have to be careful about food from China. I know that, what was it they said the other day? There was something in the news the other day about food from China that you have to be very careful about because you never know. And I think the rice that was coming over from China had small pieces of plastic, the shape of rice in it. And people were eating it without realizing they were eating plastic. So I think we have to be very careful about anything that we get from China. They don't have the same laws and rules that we do.
And of course, our industrial complex really doesn't care much one way or the other, so they'll
Right.
farm it out to China and then sell it to us, knowing full well
Hi, Mimsy.
then
It's
it's
good
dangerous.
to see you. You know, my sister grew mushrooms one time. She grew them in a shoebox in her closet. So I don't know.
Smithfield
Foodforest.net.
Farms is bringing in processed meat from China. Isn't one of their big advertising things that it's all, local American stuff? Huh. Well, that would be a surprise.
Been watching Smithfield Farms supposedly bringing in processed meat from China. Ooh, that would scare me too. 4 types, tried it in 2 different times.
Portobellos and oyster mushrooms, those sound good. I like portobellos.
Love portobellos. I
Yep.
could eat them well, I can't eat beef anymore. Maybe I would have grown portobellos so I'd have something as a meat substitute or a beef substitute.
Yeah. Of course, you can buy them, but boy, they are expensive,
Yep.
especially the big ones. You get one like that, it'll cost you as much as a
It's the steak
pound of
almost.
steak. Yeah.
I love portobellos. Let's see.
Greg
McCoy's
Judy
has
has
grown
some videos on
portobellos
how he
and
grows
oysters.
mushrooms.
Greg Judy has some videos on how he does mushrooms.
We
Greg,
could convert my study into a mushroom room.
oh, good idea.
Big food corporations lie. Well, that's a big surprise there. Yep. And yes, they do. Hey,
Sounds like somebody's fighting
well, I
again.
think who's inside and who's outside? Kareem is in.
And Kareem is in.
Yeah,
I'll go get
I
Bravo
think
and put him inside
he's
his. I'll
messing
be
with
back,
Bravo's
guys.
feet. Oftentimes, if you get birds, you got one in the cage and one on top of the cage. The one inside will kind of start trying to bite on the feet of the one that's above. I've heard of cases where birds actually lose toes that way.
We need to show you off.
Yeah, come on, Bravo.
We need to show you off. You're
Yeah.
a gorgeous dog.
Bravo hasn't had any screen
I'll
time
put
today.
you on camera too.
Yeah. This is our big bruiser.
This is
Yeah.
Bravo.
Hello, Bravo. How you doing there, big fella? That's my big boy. You want to step up?
Let's see, Daddy. Good
Yeah,
boy.
come here. Yeah, that's my big guy. You like seeing yourself on camera, don't you?
Yes, he does.
You want to show me your wings? Show me those wings. Look at those big wings. Oh, look at those big wings. You look at those wings. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.
He
He
loves
loves
to see
showing off his
himself,
wings. Yeah, he does.
and he loves to show off his wings.
Yeah, he does. Look at him. He's looking at himself while he's got his wings up. Look at that wing. Isn't that gorgeous? You're such a pretty boy.
Chicken. Good chicken.
He's our gentle giant. This guy doesn't have
Gilbert, I do eat chicken
he
and
doesn't have a
pork.
mean feather in his body. Do you? You should. Big wings. Big wings. Eagle wings. Wings like eagle. He has wings like eagle. Look at you. Show them up. There you go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. What big wings you have.
Yeah, he is
What
beautiful.
big wings you have.
Of the three of them, he is probably the healthiest looking. The other two have health issues.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Done some feather picking and Bravo just kind of keeps on going.
And he's the biggest of the three.
He's the heaviest and
And what's really funny is he
yeah, look at you. What do you see there? Huh?
some days he thinks I'm wonderful, and other
Yeah.
days he just
He's a big
hates
guy.
me
You
and
got
tries
there?
to bite
All right,
me.
get
So
there.
I never know. Let's see.
Mhm.
This one likes Daddy, the other loves Mommy. Actually, the two blue and golds were Dave's before we got married. This one has stayed attached to Daddy. The other blue and gold, who is Kareem, seems to be changing his allegiance more to me. And of course, Gandhi and I are bonded like two birds. So
What are you doing up there, Mr. Bravo? What's this here? Huh? What's that?
they are beautiful, aren't
What
they?
is that?
Wendy, they're just wonderful.
You wanna take a look?
Oh, he got a toy. How fun.
Looky there, huh? I don't think we're gonna have any trouble in getting used to these toys. Look at
Probably
that.
not.
Yeah. What you gonna do? You gonna tear it up? You gonna tear that up?
I'm back. Thumbs up, people, and show the love. Thank you, Happy.
You're gonna make a big mess, aren't you?
Chili, oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
you make a big mess, huh?
I love them. The only
Yeah.
problem is I can't use vegetable peppers. So, Gilbert,
Yeah.
that's the one problem. And that means
You
every
chew
kind of
that?
vegetable pepper, including pimentos that come in olives. I can't eat any of them.
You're gonna
Let's
tear
see.
that up too? Hmm?
Celtic,
Yeah.
David used to have an African gray.
Yeah, I really.
Wonderful bird, but
Augustus Grayus Maximus.
he went to Dave's daughter, and then she couldn't take him. And by that time, we couldn't go to Florida and get him. So he found a new forever home.
Yeah.
How many people do you need to become monetized? I believe
Way more than we got.
no, that's not true. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, and that's what we're working on is the hours of watch time. We have a little over 2,000, and when I start making videos
Look at that
again,
piece of
it'll
wood.
go up real
What's that?
fast. So we get
Oh, what?
pretty good. We got 11 hours of watch time out of the first half of this show. So hopefully, that
Yeah,
helps.
can turn these
But
up.
if I start doing
I'll turn
videos
that
again,
one
we'll get a lot more.
up. Yeah, there you go.
Mark
Good
Shepard
boy.
also talks in his book about how he does mushrooms. I'll have to check on that too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Wendy. The thumbs up seems to help too. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's important. That much I do know. Gilbert, it's okay, Kate. You can eliminate the peppers and the dried pepper spices. Okay, thank you. Happy, are you trying to become monetized? Let's see. Freaky Geek, if I could, I'd like the way in and leaving, but sadly that doesn't work. However, when we have to sign off and open a new one, you can like that one again and it counts separately. So that helps. Wendy said, I noticed my watch hours were up and then down. Analytics are messed up. Yes. Hi, Javelin. I'm glad you're still here. Yes, Wendy, analytics seem to be strange. And they've also been going through a purge of subscribers. They went through and purged a lot of what they called the
What that?
non-profit, I think it was, subscribers that didn't have a lot of
You wanna step up?
videos or weren't
Step
bringing
up.
money into YouTube.
You wanna
So
step up on
a lot of people lost that lost root on the back.
There you go.
See,
There you
Jesse,
go,
can't
boy.
wait. I've been with you since you started. I know you have, Jesse. You're one of the few,
What?
but you've been here since the very beginning.
Yeah, he's a big guy. You can get that. There
Yep.
you go.
Okay, you don't have any issues with paprika, cumin, or turmeric. I do not have any issues with cumin or turmeric, but I do have problems with paprika. That is a pepper. The other two are not. McCoy's Oak Hill Farm. I heard that. Yeah, thank you. I had to re-sign some. Yeah, actually, I've had to go back in and re-sign up quite a few of the channels that I used to be on. And I think they unsubscribed me from them because I had stopped doing videos. I didn't do a video in, I think it's all of November and most of December, or all of October and most of December. So I think they decided I wasn't good enough to keep around. But I've gone back in. Those people that are really important, I've re-signed to. You know, Mimsy, that's the way I feel. When I went on to when we got the 1,000th sign up or subscriber, it was a huge day. And then when we hit 7,200, I just lost my earring. Sorry about that. When we got to 1,500, it was just huge. And then all of a sudden, I kind of lost energy or got burned out or something. So we slowed way down. But this is a new year and we're starting up again. So I took a break because of the farm and such from spring until late fall. Yep, McCoy's, we did too. Gilbert says, I'm going to recommend your channel in the chat room at Lynn's. Lynn, myself, and many others love to cook. Thank you very much, Gilbert. I really appreciate that. I don't go out to all of the channels I used to. I used to go to the channels that allow you to subscribe to other channels while you're on there. I did that for a while, and it was a lot of fun, and I got a whole lot of subscribers. But a lot of the people that I got as subscribers never came to my channel other than when they first signed up. So I just didn't do that. Wendy, I'm glad you didn't have to re-sign for me too. I really am. I hate it when I lose subscribers, especially because to me, it's very, very important that I respond to every comment left on a video and that I'm in touch with the people who come to my channel and respond or leave comments. They're important. Like I say every week, you guys are my friends. This live feed that we do every Sunday is like having our friends in our living room sitting and visiting. And I really feel that way. So it's important to me that you guys stay in touch.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty hooked on it too.
My first 100 was so shocking to me. I remember that one, Mimsy. I couldn't believe that there would be that many people out there that would want to hear anything I had to say, much less 100 people. That just threw me. Thank you, Murphy. My friends that come here are very special people, and I absolutely, absolutely love every one of them.
Yeah, and as Freaky Geek says, the rare oddball.
It's what?
The rare oddball.
Yeah.
Those are good to have around.
Hi, Bravo. How are you, big boy? Yeah, look at you fluff up that head. No, don't lean here. I don't want him to strike at me.
Oh, I don't think he will right now.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's been a good boy.
I know he doesn't strike at you, but he still does at me sometimes.
He's been a good boy. He just wants a little head scratches, don't you?
I just could not do it. All is one problem. Yeah.
Half he wants to know if there's any single homestead women out there. Are you in the market?
We're going to start a homestead
Dating
dating
service?
group here.
There you go.
I'm
Homestead matchmakers.
Any farm. I just got the books, Dirt and Soil.
Yeah, look at you.
How children. Wow.
You're peeking
good
at yourself,
books.
aren't you?
But then you've got some wonderful books, Lynx. I love looking at your library in your living room. They are wonderful books. Wendy says, I try and watch all my friends, but we have a data limit, so I have to each month. Yeah, I understand. Fortunately, we don't have a data limit because we would be in trouble if we did, because Dave and I are
cleaning my
on
ears for
all
me?
the time.
Uh-huh.
It may be slow, but at least we're there. John says, yes, he is in the market.
Yeah, Freaky Geek says that nobody can do it all. You got to do it a bit at a time. It's how you eat an elephant's foot. Yeah, I guess so.
Sounds like interesting book month. Yes, I agree.
And Lisa's single, but likes it that way. I wasn't single very long. It was interesting, but
Some books on gardening and
when Kate came along, I realized the error of my ways again. I guess I could go either way, but having a companion like Kate is incomparable. There's just no way that I wouldn't go back now for love or money.
I enjoy
What are you doing?
being
you
married.
doing?
That's the only way I can say it. But a lot of it has to do with the person that you're married to. Dave and I are so incredibly compatible. We share so many
Get
beliefs
that
and values that being married to him is very easy. Not everybody is that easy. My former husband, who died of cancer, was a very difficult person to be married to, and we made it.
Yeah.
I made it to 36 years, but I wouldn't go back and do it again for anything. So it really depends on who you're with. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah. Oh, now we got him over there saying arg.
Are you saying arg?
Yeah.
Are you saying
You feel
arg?
left out over there, Gandhi.
He's usually the one on the video, so if I could keep him on the right side, I'd bring him over, but I don't
Well,
think I can.
if you want to bring him over, I'll try to keep Bravo all the way. They get along. Bravo and Gandhi get along. Bravo and Karib, Gandhi and Karib do not. They will fight, and I mean hurt one another. So we have to be real careful about them. Anytime we hear certain kind of screams, you know something's going on. And
Go up.
we get that quite a bit between
No,
Gandhi
you're not
and
going to go see
Karib.
Daddy. No, not
You
right
don't
now.
want to come over here.
He's
you don't
asked
like
for
me.
it twice.
Yeah, well, you don't want to come over here. He's just making noise. Yeah, you're just making noise, aren't you? Yeah, you're a big guy.
Yeah, McCoy's, I was single for a while, and I didn't dislike it, but I like being married today much better than I like being single.
Yeah, Mimsy, compatibility counts. That's for sure.
No, you're not going to go over there. No, I'm not going to let you go over there.
Hardneck Farm's third husband, almost 10 years. Yeah, sometimes you got to look around a while.
Drink of water? No? Okay.
Farm internships. Now, that's an interesting concept, Lynx.
Yes,
I can
Lynx,
understand
I
what
agree.
that is, but I've never really,
You actually go live on a farm
I've
and
never
learn how to do the things they do.
yeah.
I've been
Oh, my
single for over
gosh.
4 years. My ex
Gilbert, that's awful.
October 2015. It was.
Ex-fiance
Oh,
left in
how
October
awful.
and was then murdered. How awful.
How to garden. Hello, welcome. Good to see you today. That's my boy. Mwah.
What are you doing, bro? What?
Yeah.
You big handsome fella, you.
I'm getting kisses over here on
Are
my
ya?
chin.
I tell you, Bravo just loves to see himself on camera. He just thinks that's the greatest thing since sliced bread, don't you?
That's my boy.
Yeah, you looking at yourself, huh? You looking at yourself, yeah.
Why don't you trade arms? That'd be a lot easier. Thank you. Now you're not in the picture. You
Oh
wanna
my
go back on
gosh.
the stand?
Happy, well, that's married for 25 years. Got home to a Dear John note on the kitchen counter. Been divorced for 20 years now.
Well, that's
Well, that's one way to do it, I guess. Wow.
David didn't get a Dear John letter, but he got a I want a divorce and served his papers on his birthday.
Yeah, that was a real trip. One thing I'll say about my ex-wife, her timing was always
Amazing.
pretty terrible. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, getting served with divorce papers on your birthday.
You were 49?
You know, I was 39. That
39.
was my 39th birthday.
Hmm?
No, I'm sorry. 49th.
49th
49th birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the next birthday was your 50th.
Yeah, and that was with you.
Take care, Mimsy. Thank you for stopping by.
My 50th birthday was truly unforgettable. Kate set things up. This was back in the very early days of chat rooms. And she went to a lot of effort. For one thing, on my 50th birthday, I did not sleep at all that day. I was up 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
I made sure of it.
And we went dancing because that happened to be on. We went to a club that we used to go to. It was a techno club. It was called 10 Lies. And I did a lot of dancing back then.
We both did.
And we did that. And
Hi, Ecocentric.
had a real nice little kind of a halfway party there at 10 Lies. I was the oldest guy there by far. And but anyway, my 50th birthday was memorable, very memorable.
Well, eccentric, some marriages can be just exactly like that. Nothing but fighting and lots of children that don't turn out well, but not all marriages are like that. My children's father was a very absent husband and very absent father. He just did not know how to be anything else. His dad had been a very absent father. So he came into the marriage, number one, not wanting children, and number two, not knowing how to be a parent.
Celtic Bear says that turning 50 into May. Dave, how did it feel? 50 was,
I'm sorry.
Turning 50 was, didn't really make much difference. I was at a very strange point in my life when I turned 50. So I had enough going on where 50 was a fairly exciting year. Yeah, I'm come the 1st of February, I'll be 73.
And come the 31st of August, I'll be 71.
So,
hi, Tinker's Wife. Good to see you too.
Hi. Well, glad that you dropped in on us after church. Thank you for coming by.
And come April the 13th and May the 5th, my parents will both be 91.
And Hardnack, why was 50 hard on you? I mean, that, well, 50 is definitely a milestone, that's for sure.
Lost my other earring now. These earrings just don't want to stay in.
Gilbert turned 51 on the 14th of December. So do people give you your birthday presents and say this is for Christmas too? That would suck.
Thank you very much, Tinker's Wife.
And Lisa says 50 was a long time ago for me. Yeah, me both.
You know, I haven't yet had a birthday that I had problems with. I've never been ashamed to tell people how old I was. I never had difficulty being any particular age. The one age I had a lot of fun with was 39, but that was only because I was a Jack Benny fan. And Jack Benny told people for years he was 39, and I just took that and had fun with it for that year. But I've just never had a problem with being whatever age I am. And 70 is pretty good too. I mean, I'm happy. I've got a good home. I've got mostly my health. So why should I not be happy?
Happy is 68 this year. 68 was a pretty good year for me. Things were still, I was still up and around and moving and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, having a niece born on Christmas Eve, that poor child.
I had a daughter born on the 28th and a niece born on the 30th, so I understand. 50 feels like a long time ago, although I'm going to be 64 this year.
Well, I guess if we probably looked at the average age of our viewers here, they're probably 50 or older. I know there's a couple of young people that Kate have said over time have kind of visited this channel. One of them was, what, 18 or so?
I'm sorry, who?
Didn't you have somebody here that was around 18 years old at one time?
Oh, yeah.
That was one of your subscribers?
Yeah. Actually, I have Anna Lynn, who comes in. She was here at the earlier one. She's in high school, hasn't graduated yet. I had a young boy from China who was 11 when he subscribed. There have been some young people, but I find I have more in the 30 to 50 range than any other individual age.
Lynx Acres, I like the name of that blog, To Love, Honor, and Vacuum.
That's
pretty clever.
Cool. Jesse, your soul feels 55. I'm the other way around. I'm 70, but my soul feels like about 17. It's actually funny. Both of my children, who are now both over 40, introduced me as the oldest living 17-year-old they know. So I guess I must be 17.
So, half of you going to go to that class reunion? I know they had one. I went to 3 different high schools, so what reunion do I go to? You know, it's kind of a moot point for me. I didn't bother with any of them.
I get an
And
invitation
McCoy's
every
Oak Hill
year.
Farms. Hi there.
I get an invitation every year for the high school reunion because my high school is about maybe 18 or 20 miles from here. But I haven't bothered to go back. High school was fun when I was there, but I don't have anything really in common with most of those people anymore, and I have no desire.
Jesse, I agree with you that relating to people 55
Welcome
and
back,
older
Thrifty.
for better conversations. I agree.
That's because we don't always pull out our phone and start texting. We actually talk.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some serious disconnects between some of the younger generations and us. We baby boomers, I guess you'd call us. But you're right, Tinker's wife. Some young people do recognize the value of relationships with elders, but it seems to be kind of fewer and fewer every year.
For many years, I did not have a relationship or a friendship with someone my own age. We were all either much older or much younger. For a long time, my best friends were the same age as my daughters. And that's weird because they were 20 years and more younger than I was, but my best friends were that age. So
You're having a good time just sitting up there, big boy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Happy, I don't have any cliches for you. I'm just going to tell you that when the time is right and the person is right, you'll find her.
Who's your big boy? I'm a big guy. I want some head scratching.
Tinker's wife, the lack of grandparents or other older family in the home, it's a big reason. Respect
Yes,
and love for
I agree
elders
with
have
that.
been lost in many respects.
I agree with that. You know, nowadays they just take the old people and shuffle them off to nursing homes.
What
I,
amazing!
I saw an interesting story the other day that were asking some kids where their grandparents lived. And this one kid said that her grandmother lived at the airport. And so they said, why do you say that? I said, well, we go to the airport and we pick her up and she comes and stays with us for a few days and then we take her back to the airport where she lives. So I thought that was pretty clever. That's somebody needs to have a talk with that child.
My 2 grandsons live in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And I don't travel well. Usually haven't had the money to do it. So I've met each of them 3 times. But we have kids here around us. My youngest sister, who passed away in 2017, has a daughter here who has 5 children. And so there are a lot of kids in our area. And I also have my family in Louisiana that has a 15-year-old daughter, and I'm crazy about them. So I have children and grandchildren in my life, just not necessarily the ones I gave birth to.
Tinker's wife makes a good point there, the warehousing of elders.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. I saw a lot of that when I was working for the Governor's Commission on Disabilities over in Florida.
Hi, Texas Life. What have you got us beat by? Sorry.
I would get a lot of calls from folks that were living in either retirement communities or nursing homes. And one of their biggest complaints was that no one ever comes to see them. You know, they've got family, but no one ever comes to visit. So they're just kind of abandoned. You're right. They're just warehoused away.
When I was raising my daughters, hello, Eve, it's good to see you. I'm sorry, when I was raising my daughters, we had Girl Scout troops and we had all kinds of other girl troops. And every troop we had, every group of girls, we always spent time visiting the people in the nursing homes. These little girls, when they would first go, would be so afraid because they'd never seen or met elderly people. And by the time the end of the year was gone and our troop was over for that year, these girls all had friends. Some of them, the parents of the girls had come and visited the folks in the nursing home. There was even one instance where one of the elders from the nursing home was able to go and visit the girl and her family. We also had one young girl who was totally blind, And she went in there and she could find herself around in that nursing home with no problems. And there was an elderly lady who was also totally blind, and they became fast friends. So,
I got to go back to what Thrifty VG said. A friend texted her an hour ago and said, "We're going to war and we should prepare."
who's going to war, Thrifty?
We are with Iran.
I'm sorry?
We are with Iran. We just assassinated.
Again?
Well, Trump and his infinite evasiveness
Okay.
has decided to go over and kill one of the commanding generals of the Iranians. And it really detracts from his domestic problems by starting up a war. But I'm not going to go there. But yeah, we could very easily go to war in Iran, and that could be a trigger point for a major
Oh, my goodness.
confrontation.
The Tinker's wife. I'm so sorry you lost your husband last August. I did not know. I had not heard that. We also had campfire groups. We had Girl Scouts and Campfire and Rainbow. For those of you who don't know, that is a girls' organization sponsored through
Demolay.
DeMolay is the boys' sponsored
Right.
through the Masonic groups. So we had a lot of those. Let's see. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. Yeah, I agree, Gilbert. Wendy says Campfire was very good for her daughter. She is deaf, so Campfire was very positive. You know, Wendy, that's the thing that I discovered. I was a leader in both of those, in all of those groups. I was a leader, and I learned as much as the girls did, and it was always a positive thing. It really was.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I would, if I was quite a bit younger, I'd probably be very adamantly anti-war. I mean, I am now, but it's kind of a moot point when you're this age.
I agree, Celtic. We don't need one.
But it just amazes me how transparently we suddenly have all these issues with Iran now that Trump is facing an impeachment inquiry. Very convenient.
McCoy's the oldest of my three younger sisters, was married, but she never had children. And her husband divorced her when they were in their 50s, and she lived alone, and she lived close to my parents, and she and my mother became best friends for many years. She passed away of a massive heart attack in 2017, and she never missed the fact that she had children. She was fine without them. So you don't have to have children. You don't even have to have a spouse to have a good life. My oldest daughter has been married and divorced. She does not want to remarry and does not want children. She's a wonderfully successful career woman. I absolutely adore her and support her, and she's happy that way.
Take care, Texas Life. Thanks for coming by.
And you never did tell us how old you were, so.
Yeah, and my daughter, who is now 48, was married for a while, no kids, and won't have any. So obviously, but that's okay. Yeah, isn't it, Bravo? Is that okay?
Younger sister.
Bravo's never had any kids either.
Younger sister has never had children. She's quite happy without them. And she's an elementary teacher. Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, that's...
McCoy's is 51. Yeah, a youngster. Let's see. Link said they stayed about a week and a half with their in-laws. One niece is just 3 months older than your toddler. So we had a 4-year-old nephew and a 2-year-old niece.
What you doing?
I bet those kids had a blast.
What you doing? We'll get that
I
foot.
think that was wonderful.
We'll get that foot.
Homestead Remembrance, I'm sorry. I keep
I'm
trying
gonna
to
get
say hello to you when I see your name pop up,
We'll get
and I
that
get distracted. I am so glad you're here, and I'm sorry I haven't said so sooner.
Yeah, Celtic Bear's got the right idea. Likes her furry kids.
We like our furry and our feathered kids.
Yeah, look at you, Bravo. What are you doing? You like doing that, don't you? Yeah. What do you do? Oh, now you're going to feed me. Huh? You going to feed me?
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, he is. Don't bother. Just go ahead and eat it yourself. That kind of like hawking motion there, that's a feeding behavior. Usually when Gandhi does it, he brings up a bunch
feeds
of
me.
bunch of food for Kate and lays it in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Kay McCoy says these are sister's kids and all were drama. I think not living with any of them in my old age. Yeah, there is a lot of
we
drama.
have three. We have three. First one is 27, did we say this time? 25, I'm
25, 17, and
sorry. 10.
10.
Yeah.
Got three big birds.
They're all macaws. Two like this one and one that's just all colors. He's called a Maui Sunrise. So,
This one's Bravo.
planning to get a commuter car for her husband so you can go out to groups of kids' movies. You know, like play dates for parents with kids that are the similar ages. It's a wonderful thing.
What are you going to do?
When I was raising my kids, it was against the law to homeschool. You were not allowed to homeschool.
But you did it anyway.
Well, I was just going to say the way I got around it was I formed a private school under the umbrella of my church that I was going to, and I schooled my children that way. But we didn't have a lot of time to go out and have play dates, or didn't have that many people who were also homeschooling. So when my daughter started talking about homeschooling her children, I thought that was just wonderful. And she had a lot of play dates with the boys. So
Celtic Bear, thanks for coming by. I'm going to go rake them leaves. Have a good day, Dawn.
Put those leaves in a pile and use them for compost.
Yeah, Tinker's wife said she used to have a cockatiel that was really spoiled. They're easy to spoil. Cockatiels are sweet little birds. I've had them. Well, they were the first bird I had was cockatiels.
First bird I had was a parakeet, and I used to raise them. I had my bedroom when I was a child was a screened and windowed in porch. And on every upright between the sets of windows, I had hangers with bird cages. And I had, it was like living in an aviary. There were so many little birds, and I raised them. And then I was able to sell them. And it was great. It was wonderful. I loved parakeets. There's all kinds of stories about how my crazy parakeets did things.
I fostered about a dozen finches for several months while a woman was going through cancer treatment. I really missed them after they left because they're just the sounds and everything that they make. And it was just a really nice background for the house. But I don't think I'd want a whole bunch of caged birds now, even though they're real easy keepers.
Well, my first parakeet, I got her when I was 7, and I had her until I was 19. But she could talk. She could talk better than these guys did. She was.
Yeah, the cockatiels talk a lot.
Parakeets.
Oh, parakeets. Yeah, they can have a pretty
She
good
was a
vocabulary,
parakeet,
too.
and she talked all the time. It was amazing. But then I kept her with me whenever I was home. She was with me. So.
Jesse, thanks for coming by, and a good day
Take
to
care.
you.
I hope to see you next Sunday, if not sooner.
Truly do appreciate you coming in very much.
Yeah, McCoys, we had some finches too for a while, but I didn't let them out. They stayed in their cages.
The Hard Knack, our broadcast time is 1 p.m. on Sundays. And we're in Central Time Zone as well.
Yeah.
We're down in Texas.
Finches are wonderful.
Attached to your hip and got upset if he was stuck in his cage. Yeah, zebra finches are cute. They are.
They really are. They
I
really
used to
are.
know a woman, she was up in Georgia and I was in Florida, but she was called Lady Gouldian Finch, and she raised all kinds of finches. And
Take care,
I mean
Wendy.
hundreds of finches. And she was she was about a 3-state expert on finches. Anything finches, we called her. Weather is weird here in Colorado. Snow today, gone tomorrow because of the elevation. Yep. Hard Knack, take care. Thanks for coming.
You know, this sounds silly, but I'm sure glad I'm in South Texas where we don't get snow all that often. It was lovely when I was in Omaha for that 18 months. I really enjoyed watching the snow and actually getting out in it. I loved having a wood-burning fireplace, which we don't have here. But I'm glad I'm in Texas where it doesn't snow all that often and we don't have to worry about things. Roberta,
Roberta,
thank
thank
you
you.
very much for being here. I didn't see you come in, so I'm sorry. Welcome, and we'll see you next week.
Must have been lurking.
Come as much as possible. My husband helps on the phone on weekends. Well, Wendy, we're here from 1 until around 3. So if you can't get here right away, don't worry. And if you can come for a little while and then leave, that's cool too. We like to leave it open for folks to come in and just say hi if they need to.
Yeah, this started out as just being an hour, and it's just kind of gradually grown.
And people just seem to want us to stay a little longer and a little longer.
And we do get folks that come and go.
Yep.
And some come in at 1 and have to go later, and then some come in at 2. And so kind of stretching that 2-hour time span. Sometimes I leave during the second hour.
Yeah.
So
Last week I cut it off at an hour and a half because everybody had to leave and I didn't want to sit here by myself. So.
But to everybody who comes by, we appreciate it greatly. You have no idea. I mean, this is, I have to kind of say, this is sort of the highlight of my week anymore. Is
I know it sure
now,
is mine.
once I get my bird channel going, we'll see, but I still got a ways to go on that. But I am looking forward to it, giving it a try anyway.
You're right, Gilbert. There is a lot of very interesting conversations. A lot of people that are very kind and very friendly. So I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
we don't seem to get many trolls, do we?
No, praise the Lord, we don't. I'm really glad we don't. I hate trolls, and I have that zero tolerance that Weetree was talking about earlier. I wouldn't want them around, and I'd get rid of them as soon as I could.
Yeah, Lynx, sounds like you made your break just in time. I've done that. I've outrun snowstorms.
We've also run out of gas in a snowstorm.
Yes, I have. That was when I met my guardian angel, and I mean this most literally. I'll tell the story, but I was in Nebraska, and I had traveled down to Lincoln from Omaha, which is about 70, 80 miles. And when I left in the morning, the weather was, okay, not great, but it wasn't bad. And it was a business trip, and I was in a rental car, and I just had on, suit and tie and cut a trail. Well, on the way back, all of a sudden we got hit by a blizzard. And if you've never gone through a Midwestern blizzard, they can come up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you can have a foot of snow on the ground. Well, on Interstate 10, coming between Omaha and what did I say it was?
Lincoln.
Lincoln. Okay. Anyway, the rental
You
car.
live there.
Yeah, the rental car that I had apparently had a leak. And you go 80 miles or so, you don't expect to run out of gas on a full tank. Well, I ran out of gas. And I mean, I'm right in the middle of nowhere. And it started sputtering, and I looked down, of course, gas gauge empty. The only thing I had there was an off ramp. So I kind of cruised up the off ramp thinking, and this was before cell phones. So I figured I could be dead here. So anyway, as I go off the off ramp, I look up and I see this pickup truck parked a ways up the ramp. And about that time, my car died. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll hopefully there's somebody in this truck. So I get out, and this woman gets out of the truck, and she starts walking toward me, and I tell her I've run out of gas and all this kind of stuff. And she says, well, maybe I can help you. And she opens the back of her truck, and she's got like 3 or 4 5-gallon cans of gas in the back of her truck. So we put some gas into my car, and we're, chatting and everything else, talking. And then somehow it never even occurred to me to offer any money for the gas. I asked her, why or how was she there? And she said that she made a lot of runs between, I think it was Colorado and over west of Nebraska. So she carried her own gas. Why she was stopped on that ramp, I have no idea. So anyway, I get in my car and start cranking it up, and she gets in her truck, she drives off. Well, now we got a lot of snow on the ground. So I get my car started, which took a while. And I start going up the off ramp, and I see her tire tracks in the snow. When I got to the top of the ramp, her tracks disappeared. No left turn, no right turn, no across, back onto the freeway, nothing. No tracks. And I just kind of got the real big shivers. And that's when it first occurred to me that, okay, your guardian angel just saved your life. And I drove back to Omaha and returned my car with some very heated words to the agent about the car. I got home and immediately told Kate about this. But that was, and then I said, well, I know it was a woman, but I can't remember what she looked like. I don't remember the color of her hair, any of the facial features, how she was dressed, nothing. It was all just kind of a blur. And what kind of truck was it? It was a pickup truck. I don't remember the make or model or anything. So all this fuzzy stuff, but around it all there was my guardian angel just kind of saved my butt.
Wendy said it's an angel before you even had a chance to say that.
Yep. And I've met my angel a time or two since then on very, very hazardous things that, just kind of come along. But that was the time that I knew that I had a guardian angel, because she saved my life. I mean, I very literally could have frozen. It was like, 25 degrees out there, and on Interstate 10, people are inclined not to stop, and I was on a ramp. I mean, it could have been a real sad story. So anyway, that's one of my guardian angel stories. I've written about that a time or two, because, wow.
It's pretty amazing when you meet that.
Yeah, it is. And it's very humbling, because there's no other explanation. I mean, how do you explain that? How do you rationally explain that?
Okay.
You run out of gas, you get on an off ramp, there's somebody waiting there who literally has about 20 gallons of gasoline with them, who gives me 10 gallons, just quick like bunny, and and we crank up and they go up. But what really freaked me out, and I mean this most literally, I got to the top of that hill and the tracks just disappeared. And there's no way to answer that one, because I mean and the snow was deep. I mean, we probably had 6 inches of snow on the ground at that point.
Wendy,
So there's no way that was just a coincidence.
God does love us. He provides for us, and we see his hand in our lives every single day. It's amazing
What are
how
you
he
doing?
works in our lives.
What are you doing? You cleaning me up?
Guys,
I'm
it's
getting grabbed here.
been an hour, and
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going to
getting
start
grabbed.
closing this down for this week. We will be back again next Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Time.
I'm
We look
getting
forward to
grubbed
seeing
over
you.
here, by the way.
Yeah, I see you getting cleaned over there.
he's
Preened.
preening my beard.
And yes, we all do have guardian angels, and we do have the hand of God on our lives if we're Christians. So
Yeah, Gilbert, that is an awesome story. It's something I'll never forget. Oh, Tinker's wife is moving out to the Portland Metro, hopefully to a country home. Wow,
how lovely.
that would be nice.
How lovely.
And yes, Gilbert, I fully agree. There are guardian angels around us that
We love you guys too.
We may never see
love
him.
you, Happy, very much.
we might not acknowledge them, but I'll tell you what, that one experience there, that brought it home
Thank you,
for me.
Wendy. Y'all take
Okay,
care.
thank you very much for coming by. We'll see you again next Sunday.
God bless.
I'll have more details then on, hopefully on my live stream about birds.
Yep.
So God bless.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.